So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. The idea behind this lecture series is quite simple. Look, we want you to have this habit of practicing MCQs on a daily basis, especially from current affairs. It's a very good habit to have because through this, you not only get to revise your current affairs, which form a very important portion of your syllabus as far as UPSC is concerned, you also get the much needed MCQ practice, which really comes in handy, which will really come in handy when you're appearing for your prelims examination, whenever you're appearing for it, this year, next year. This would really help you if you really practice or follow this lecture series diligently. Because MCQ practice would really transform your MCQ solving skills when it comes to prelims. Okay, so make sure you make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. And I'll begin today's session with question number 1. So yes, question 1. Consider the following statements regarding Marang Baru or Parsanath Hills. It is a sacred site found in Jharkhand which is considered sacred for both Jains and Santhal tribal communities. Sendra festival celebrated by Jains on these hills is considered objectionable by Santhals and they have opposed this in multiple civil suits. As per Jain mythology, 20 out of 24 Tirthankars attained Kaivalya on Parsanath Hills. How many of the above statements are correct? Now look, there is a particular set of hills in Jharkhand which is sacred, which is considered sacred to both Santhals and Jains. Okay, now this is the bone of contention between the two communities. Okay, because both are trying to appropriate these two hills. The issue is that yes, it is a sacred site which is sacred for both Jain and Santhal communities. Absolutely correct. Jains call it Parsanath Hills and Santhal tribals call it Marang Baru. That means the Great Mountain. Okay, for both of them, these hills are sacred. The reason for Jains is that Jain mythology has 24 Tirthankars, Lord Mahavira being one of them, the 24th one. 23rd was Lord Parsavnath. And then before them, there were 22 other Tirthankars, divine teachers. Okay. Now, it is believed in Jain mythology that out of these 24, 20 Tirthankars attained Kaivalya or Nirvana or enlightenment on Parsanath Hills. So, Parsanath Hills are important from that perspective. There are many Jain temples on these hills. When we talk about Santhals, well, for Santhals, these mountains are considered the most important deity in their religious practices. In fact, there are few sites on these hills which are considered very sacred. Okay, plus one more thing is there. Every year, Santhals, okay, Santhal tribals celebrate Sendra festival. In this Sendra festival, all the young boys are sent for hunting. Okay, and they hunt animals, and after 3 days, okay, it's a 3-day festival. After 3 days, they have a feast in which there is animals. I mean, they eat animals and whatever they have hunted, and there is a feast of sorts. Okay, on these Marang Baru hills. Now, Jains object to it because Jains think in Jain religion, strict vegetarianism is the norm. And they think that, hunting and killing animals and eating them is against their religion, especially on a site considered sacred by them. So they have tried to ban it. Jains have tried to ban Sendra festival. And Santhals have fought back. Okay, now this fight has been taken to court since the British times. Okay, this is the dispute. So Sendra festival is not celebrated by Jains, it's actually celebrated by Santhals, and this is false. Third statement is absolutely correct. So only 2 statements are correct. The answer is B. Question 2. Consider the following statements regarding Sikkim's integration into India. The Kingdom of Sikkim was established in 1642 when 3 Tibetan lamas consecrated Phuntsog Namgyal as the first ruler or Chogyal of Sikkim. In 1950, the Indo-Sikkim Treaty was signed, making Sikkim an Indian protectorate. Sikkim was integrated into India through 36th Constitutional Amendment Act, which came into force on 16th May 1975. Now look, the thing is that during British times, Sikkim was a princely state. Okay, and like all princely states, British government had control over these princely states, but their internal affairs were managed by the rulers. Okay, same was the case with Sikkim. Now, after independence, India merged many of these princely states into Union of India. Well, the question arose, or there was the question of Sikkim's integration to India. Okay, now the Chogyal or the ruler of Sikkim decided to remain independent, but there was popular unrest. The popular opinion was that we should merge with India, but Chogyal was not interested in it. Therefore, in 1950, Indo-Sikkim Treaty was signed, under which Sikkim was made India's protectorate. That means Sikkim's defense, okay, strategic communications, economy was taken over by India, leaving the internal affairs with Chogyal. Plus, any Sikkimese who wanted to travel abroad would use Indian passport. So that was the meaning of protectorate. Okay. But then in 1970s, there was popular unrest, popular protests in Sikkim, and they wanted to abolish monarchy, Chogyalism, and they wanted to merge with India. Okay, this happened, a referendum was conducted, Sikkim wanted to merge with India, and therefore Sikkim was integrated into India through 36 Constitutional Amendment Act, which came into force 16th May 1975. And that is why 16th May every year is celebrated as Sikkim Day. Okay, so this is correct. Second statement is also correct. Now, as far as the origin of the princely state of Sikkim is concerned, well, it was established in 1642. Absolutely correct. When three Tibetan lamas, well, they hold sacred status because, well, Sikkim is also Buddhist. Okay, when three Tibetan lamas consecrated Funsong Namgyal as the first ruler, or in Sikkimese language, Chogyal of Sikkim. And from then onwards, Namgyal dynasty ruled Sikkim till 16th May 1975. So this is also correct. 1, 2, and 3. D. Question 3. Which of the following statements are correct regarding shingles disease? Shingles is a bacterial infection that causes painful rashes caused by Varicella zoster. A person can get shingles if he/she comes in contact with the fluids from the shingle rashes or breathes virus particle. Shingles vaccine is generally prescribed to children and adolescents to develop their immunity against shingles disease. Now listen to me carefully. Shingles disease is a disease in which, well, blisters and rashes appear on your back. Okay? And they can appear anywhere on your body, but mostly they appear on your back. Now, shingles is caused by a virus called Varicella zoster virus. So, first statement is false because it is not a bacterial infection, it is a viral infection. Okay, yes, it causes painful rashes though, and the name of the virus is Varicella zoster. Okay, now there are two ways through which you can get shingles. The thing is, Varicella zoster virus is the same virus that causes chickenpox. Okay, so if a person got chickenpox during their childhood, okay, and they got cured of chickenpox, well, some chickenpox virus would lay dormant in your body. Okay, would remain dormant in your body. Okay, they won't go anywhere, they won't do anything, but they would remain dormant in your body until and unless your immune system weakens, and then they would resurface, causing shingles. Okay, that is one way. The other way is that if you come in contact with a person who has shingles, and you come in contact with the fluids, that pus, basically fluids or pus that comes out of the rashes, or you come close to them and the virus particles, virions, they are floating in the air and you accidentally breathe them, then you can get shingles. So second statement is correct. Now, shingles vaccine is there to protect you from getting shingles, but it is generally prescribed to people who are above the age of 50 years, and it can be prescribed to people who are lower than the age of 50 years, but if their immune system is compromised. If they are immunocompromised, like they have HIV or immunocompromised. So if they are immunocompromised, then they can receive this vaccine below 50, but generally it is given to people above the age of 50 years. Okay, So this statement is false. And the answer is only 2. It is not given to children and adolescents, people above 50 years. Okay. And last, but definitely not the least, consider the following statements regarding Kaladan Multimodal Transit Project. It is a joint initiative between India and Myanmar to enhance connectivity and trade leveraging northeastern region of India. It provides strategic alternative connectivity to India's northeast from Kolkata, reducing the vulnerability in Siliguri corridor. Okay, which of the above statements are correct? Now the thing is that mainland India is connected to northeast region by land through this very narrow corridor known as Siliguri corridor. Okay, now this Siliguri corridor is also known as chicken's neck because a chicken's neck is narrow. Okay, and the reason why it's called chicken's neck is because it's so narrow that it makes India vulnerable. Any adversary could capture this area and cut off northeast from India. Okay, therefore India is searching for alternative routes to northeast. One way is Kaladan Multimodal Transit Project. What happens is, in this Kaladan Multimodal Transit Project, it is a joint project between India and Myanmar. So Kolkata will be connected via sea, Bay of Bengal, to Sitwe port in Myanmar. From Sitwe, this port, there is a river that is flowing. It is called Kaladan. Okay, this river, a waterway on this river will take you to Chin state of Myanmar, which is the neighboring state of Mizoram in India. Right? And from Mizoram, there will be highways connecting to Chin state. So through Kolkata, you are connected to Mizoram without passing through Siliguri corridor. Okay, so first statement is correct. Plus, before this project, okay, or a few years back, Bangladesh was a little friendly towards us under Sheikh Hasina's prime ministership. Okay, but now, as we all know, that Bangladesh is not so friendly with India. In fact, it is positioning itself as India's adversary, right? Therefore, we become all the more vulnerable, and they have even threatened. Some people from Bangladesh have even threatened to capture Northeast. Okay, so in that regard, it is a strategic project because we will get access to Northeast not through Siliguri corridor but through alternative routes via Myanmar also. Okay, so both statements are correct. The answer to this question would be C. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it will add more value if you are consistent with this lecture series, you make it a daily habit of yours, and you revise this lecture as well. And by revision, I mean spending another 5 to 10 minutes taking a look at written detailed solutions to each and every MCQ discussed above. Okay, now these solutions are provided in our notes, and these notes are shared on our Telegram platform, whose link you can find in the comment section just below this video. Okay, and on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of MCQs. Thank you, everyone.